صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة، غريب يا مظلوم يا ليتنا كنا معكم سيدي فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. السلام على زين العابدين ورحمة الله وبركاته. إهدانا للسيد أم البنين ولقضاء الحوائج. رحم الله من رفع صوته بالصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أحسنت، رحم الله وعليكم، جزاكم الله خير الجزاء. إمام زين العابدين سلام الله عليه in Al-Bihar has a famous line. He says, O son of Adam, you are dead, and you will be sent forth to stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will be questioned, so prepare your answers. This hadith from Imam Zainul Abidin salamullahi alayhi sends fear into our hearts. However, it does so in a positive way, not in a scary way, not in a way that makes us want to run away from the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When the Imam is speaking in this way, he is saying it as if we are already passed away. He's saying you guys are already dead, and then you guys are going to be sent forth before the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Imam Zainul Abidin says, so prepare yourself for everything you did, you will be questioned about. So how are you going to prepare the answers? Imam Zainul Abidin salamullahi alayhi, the son of Imam al-Husayn, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhim, ruhi lahum al-fida, was a courageous person in history. For he witnessed his father being murdered, he witnessed his uncle being murdered, he witnessed his siblings being murdered. And he also witnessed his auntie Zainab and his other aunties and the females that their lineage leans back to Rasulullah become captives. This same Imam stands in front of Yazid in his palace and silences him. Typically, when people are wronged by others, when they go to seek revenge, they stand up in a fierce way. They attack them to try to get their right back, their haqq. However, Imam Zainul Abidin, the person who deserves every single right to stand up and attack his opposition, stands up in a humble way. And the narration says he shakes the empire of Yazid, the son of Muawiyah. An Imam like Zainul Abidin, a courageous person, that Imam al-Sadiq salamullahi alayhi says that for many years the Imam, every time food would be brought forth to him, he would cry. Every time they would bring water towards him, he would cry. This same Imam gives advice to his Shia. As we believe in our Aqeedah, the Ahlul Bayt were sent down as mercy. Their message is that of mercy. So when Imam Zainul Abidin salamullahi alayhi says, O son of Adam, you have now passed away, and you will be sent forth to stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you will also be questioned. So prepare your answers. Let's bring in a metaphor. Life is like a credit card. Life is like Afterpay. You can go out, you can buy whatever you want. There is no one to stop you. However, when the time comes, your bill is due. You need to repay the money that you were given. It's now become your debt. Life is the same thing. We can tap and go, tap and go, tap and go, do whatever we want. However, Imam Zainul Abidin says that one day you're going to be questioned. We have in the famous hadith that this world is amal bidun hisab. It's action without being punished or without being held accountable. And then he says in the akhirah, it's hisab bala amal. It's questioning and being held accountable for. However, over there you can't do amal. You can't do actions to rectify the mistakes that you participated or to rectify the mistakes that you did. So we need to understand that when you go out to buy something, the deceiving nature of reality, you like a Burberry scarf, $7.99. You like this Louis Vuitton handbag, $3,000. Looks are deceiving. And then after you buy it, after a while, what happens? You get bored of it. The same thing with this world. We are continuously striving, we are continuously trying as hard as we can to one, gain the satisfaction of others. Two, to show off with my latest car, to show off with my latest house, to show people that I'm wearing a Rolex. All of these. And then what? In the end, when you're on your deathbed, no one's around you. It's only you and the book of your deeds. So Imam Zainul Abidin says, prepare your answers for that day where you will be questioned. In a hadith, I seen this narration being narrated by Imam Zainul Abidin himself, by Imam al-Kadhim himself, and by Imam al-Sadiq himself. Al-Allam al-Majlisi Ridwanullah Ta'ala alayhi mentioned this hadith in his Bihar. He says that لا تزول قدم عبد يوم القيامة حتى يسأل عن أربع. That no servant on the day of judgment will be able to walk even one footstep without being asked 4 things. So there are 4 things that we will be asked on the day of judgment. The Imam says عن عمره فيما أفناه وشبابه فيما أبلاه وعن ماله من أين كسبه وفيما أنفقه وعن حبنا أهل البيت. Imam Zainul Abidin, Imam al-Sadiq and Imam al-Kadhim narrate this hadith. They say that on the day of judgment, a servant or these servants collectively will be asked about 4 things before they are able to walk anywhere. The first one, how did you spend your life? How did you occupy your life? What did you do? Did you spend it in worship? Did you spend it in helping others? And then the Imam says, and how you lived your youth, your shabab. It's very important that we understand that this age of youth is extremely important. That we make sure that we maintain our youth. We have al-ilmu fi al-saghar kan-naqsh al-hajar. That learning at a young age is like engraving on stone. Wal-ilmu fi al-kibar kan-naqsh al-ma'. And learning at an old age is like engraving on water. It's impossible. It won't resonate with you. It won't stick with you. And then the Imam says, you will be asked about your financials, how you obtained it and how you spent it. You say, I'm going to work. I want to buy whatever I want. I want to buy my wife the latest Louis Vuitton slides. I want to buy my wife 1, 2, and 3. I want to buy myself the best Rolex watch and the best and the latest AMG. Okay. And then what? Then what? What's going to happen later on? Did the money that you gained, was it in halal or haram? Were you selling haram substances to gain these financial income? Were you doing things which is haram in order to obtain these financials? And then the Imam says, how did you spend your money? We have something called israf, people that spend excessively on things that are useless. And then the Imam Salamullahi alayhi says, وَعَنْ حُبِّنَا أَهْلُ الْبَيْتِ. And the final thing you'll be asked about is, I love the Ahlul Bayt. Do you love the Ahlul Bayt or not? Do you support the Ahlul Bayt or not? Laylat al-Jum'ah, the eve of Friday, if you are present in the majlis and understand that you can answer at least one of these questions, and hubbina ahlul bayt. For only a mu'min attends the mosque on a regular basis. Only a mu'min attends the mosque on these occasions. Every shahada that you attend, understand that this is an invitation from Fatima to you. She says to you, oh my servant, I want you to be within the crowd. This is within our aqidah, within our beliefs. So it's very important that we understand this. Hubbuna Ahlul Bayt isn't exclusive that I just love the Ahlul Bayt. فَمَن يُؤْمِن بِاللَّهِ وَيَكْفُرْ بِالطَّاغُوتِ. You need to have iman billah and then disassociate from the enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The same way Zainul Abidin stands up in front of Yazid. He had the tawalli to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then he needs a tabarri from the enemies of Allah. So he stands up and he says to Yazid, are you the grandson of Rasulullah or am I the grandson of Rasulullah? You have affected us, you have harmed us. The same thing in Karbala when Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi asks them, am I not the grandson of Rasulullah? Am I not the son of Amir al-Mu'mineen? They said yes. They made this hujjah upon themselves by saying yes. An hubbina Ahlul Bayt. Where are we from the love of the Ahlul Bayt? Do we continuously try to perfect our relationship with our imams? You see, many of the youth nowadays, especially the ones that are in high school and university, they mix around, they have a girlfriend, they have a boyfriend. Okay. Continuously he's on the phone. Good morning, good night. Did you eat? Did you not eat? Your favorite color, your favorite TV show, I don't know what they speak about these days. Continuously tries to build this relationship. Where are we from building that relationship with our imams? Where are we from building that relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Many people think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't like His servants. He created us, test us, throw us in hellfire. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves His servants. And that's why He gave you the ni'mah of having the wilayah of the Ahlul Bayt. Because He loves you. He looked into your heart and He's seen that you were worthy of having this love. Your aqidah, your ideology is a gem. Once, Imam al-Kadhim salamullahi alayhi was speaking to his servant, to his companion, sorry. Once Imam al-Kadhim is speaking to his servant. He says to him, oh my servant, if someone was to come and tell you that this pearl in your hand is a walnut, but you know that this is a pearl, then ignore what they say to you. And then he says, and if people came and they told you what is in your hand is a walnut, but you know it's a pearl, then ignore them. And then he continues to say, and if people come and they tell you that what's in your hand is a pearl, but you know it's a walnut, ignore what they say. You need to know this. You need to understand that this aqidah that we have is a pearl. Is the right aqidah in the imams. No matter what other people come and say to you. They might say you love the Ahlul Bayt too much. What's the problem with that? This is ni'mah. This is nurun ala nur. The Quran elaborates. Rasulullah says, قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَةِ. That I want you guys to love my Ahlul Bayt. However, when I stand up sometimes and I use my voice, which is a ni'mah, can then be turned into a niqmah when I stand up and I say to the people, stop mentioning the Ahlul Bayt, it's too much. Therefore, we need to understand that this aqidah, this ideology that we have, is a pearl. I'll ask you a question. I'm pretty sure we all know how expensive pearls are. Very expensive. More expensive than gold. Would you leave 3 to 4 pearls in the middle of your house on the table and go to work without it being hidden? Would you leave it on the table and go to work? Obviously not. The same thing with your deen, the same thing with your aqeedah. Don't leave it out for people to come and attack. Don't let your aqeedah be intercepted by the viruses of society. Because on the day of judgment, it will only be me that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will question. It will only be me that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to me, why did you not give the imams their right? Why did you not attend their majalis? So make sure that we hold on to this religion that we have. Many people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them the tawfiq to, for example, be present in majalis. However, they don't understand the ni'mah of the majlis. They mix around with the wrong people, and then this tawfiq is removed from them. Example is, in my aqeedah, I believe that these majalis will raise men. These majalis will raise warriors. However, there is always a possibility that if you mix around with the wrong friends, they can remove this from you. They can start spreading doubt into your heart. That's why it's very important to look at your friend group. Who are your friends? Make sure that our close circle is filled with those that strengthen our love in the Ahlul Bayt. Make sure that our immediate friend group, make sure that our families, our household is built in a way that it strengthens our love in the Ahlul Bayt. Especially beginning a Mahdawi household. It can always start between you and your wife, between you and your mother and your father and your siblings. Start a Mahdawi household. Even if you were to make a certain corner in your house and write on the piece of paper, this is the corner of Imam al-Mahdi in our house. A little Husayniyya in your house. Start this Mahdawi household. Because when you, one day, inshallah, your wife conceives and she brings you a child, this child is born into a Mahdawi household, into a Husayni household. And that's why from within the mustahabbat that you bring Turbatul Husayn and you place it in the mouth of the newborn. Because we have belief in this Mahdawi lifestyle. If you can daily recite Dua al-Ahd. If you can daily recite Ziyarat Ashura. If you can daily pray Salatul Layl. All of this helps us become a quarter of what Imam al-Sajjad was. When they said to him, Ya ibn Rasulullah, you pray a lot. They came up to him, they said to him, Ya ibn Rasulullah, you're praying a lot. He says, where am I and where is the salah of my grandfather Amir al-Mu'mineen? So we need to take this into consideration. And inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can make us from those that give the Imam his haqq and give the Ahlul Bayt their haqq. And we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't remove from our heart the wilayah from the Ahlul Bayt salamullahi alayhim. Allahumma ajjal li waliyika al-faraj wa amnan alayna bi ridah wa hab lana ra'fatahu wa rahmatahu wa du'a'ah. وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات رحم الله من قرأ سورة المباركة الفاتحة تسبيقه الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد.